I would like to invite now to give the virtual floor to our keynote speaker, Chief Commissioner Valentin Vătăjelu, the State Counsellor in the Romanian in the Prime Minister's Chancellery, our national coordinator for Romania's accession to the U.S. visa waiver program. I believe he's joined us and has his
indeed mic. I joined.
Oh, wonderful! It's late in the evening in Bucharest, so thank you for the effort and for being with us. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Theo. I heard your introduction, so I cannot add more, but I just make a brief wrap up of what we've done this year. So I took over this position in June, beginning of June, after 5 years in Washington, D.C., working in the Romanian embassy as the law enforcement attaché. Within this 7 months, we focused on fulfilling the technical requirements from the work plan that was delivered by us by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. And to get us in the visa waiver, we need to have these requirements fulfilled, the security requirements, but also the refusal rate. Since the security requirements, it's only in the government's hands, and I'm taking care of that, and it's not easy, but I'm doing on my best every day. Even today, we had a committee session to evaluate the progress and to plan the remaining 9 months, because the focus is to fulfill all criteria, both security requirements and hopefully reach the 3% by the end of fiscal year 2024, which means we have 9 months left, 9 months and a half till September 30th, 2024. Since I told you the security requirements, it's Romanian government part to fulfill. Refusal rate is really hard to really influence it dramatically, but we had a strategy, and we are co-partners in this with the U.S. Embassy in Bucharest. I've been just 2 weeks ago in Washington, D.C., and I think there is no other proof than talking to Secretary of Homeland Security Mayorkas for 1 minute at the reception for the National Day, reassuring me that we are doing the right thing, and US is prepared to get us in as soon as possible. To fulfill the 3% requirements, 3% is really a very narrow margin. So as you mentioned, we discussed with the US Embassy, and they consider to have renewals as the best approach. The renewals are the best because the refusal rate is almost zero. And added to this, it's also easier for the applicant because it doesn't involve an interview if the visa didn't expire more than 4 years. And even if you have an active visa, you can still renew it and count as a new visa. So actually, even if you got it last year, you can apply for a new visa this year and still helping the cause. We agree to when I was in Washington, and we discussed that Romanian diaspora in the US can best help by encouraging their family, friends, relatives to renew their visas. And why renew and not new visas? Because as I mentioned, 3% is very narrow, and you have to target and to focus exactly and to have a tactical approach to bring exactly those applicants to be sure that we don't harm the process. Imagine that 3% means for a refusal, you need 33 good applications. So the challenge is that, as you mentioned, and a lot of Romanians know already, the refusal rate outside Romania, because for the refusal rate, they count all the applications in all diplomatic missions of the United States. Refusal rates outside Romania are much higher than in Romania. And one of the reasons is that U.S. Immigration and Naturalization Act considers any applicant a potential immigrant, and Romanians living abroad are already they already immigrated once, then they may consider that they may immigrate twice. So as you said, in order to overcome the numbers outside Romania, we need to have a big base of good applicants in Bucharest, so the numbers outside Romania won't count that much. So if you ask me about numbers, I think the calculation so far, we look at 50,000 visas issued this year for Romania. So we want to have this number, both renewals and new applications. In terms of new application, as you mentioned, we try to push good applicants, what US Embassy consider good applicants, and we approach liberal professions in Romania, like doctors, dentists, pharmacists, lawyers, public notary, architects, accountants, academics, all these categories through their organization, to their colleges, and they are part of the process. Also, big companies, AmCham, it's a huge partner in this. And actually, today I was in a meeting with Oracle at the US Embassy in Bucharest. Meeting in which both me and the general US consul, we both pitch the company to encourage their employees, the IT industry, to renew or apply for new visas, as IT guys, they are considered to be top of the applicants by the US Embassy in Bucharest. I want to take advantage of my presence here, and I want to engage you in an open dialogue, because any ideas that you may have, we can pursue it, and I'm open to any of your ideas that if you think something may be useful, we are really eager to follow. I don't have much to say. I just can tell you that this fiscal year 2024, it's a one-shot year. So if we cannot make it with all the resources we put in, it's very unlikely to succeed in the following year. So that's why it's, and also added to this, failure is not an option. So this opportunity that we don't think we will have it again, and the US administration is open to have Romania inside the visa waiver. And yeah, what to say, I'm all my energy is focused towards this effort. If the participants, they want to ask me anything, I'm all here for your questions.
There's also the opportunity to write the questions on the messenger box and connect directly with Commissioner Vătăjelu. Any suggestions on groups of researchers or liberal arts professionals that you would consider should be involved in this effort? I believe Iuliana Popescu has raised their hand. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hello. Hi everyone, and hi Theodore. Well, I will say just one thing, that I'm a researcher and academics. Okay. So the question is about the visa. You are asking for the visitors, right? Because if you're talking about academics, if you're talking about IT professionals, all those professionals that you are talking about, those professionals never have visiting. They are having working visa, H-1B or J-1 or J-2. And for applying again and have another visa, they will not make it because they need to have the proof that you have another contract. So let's clarify, it's about visitors. And in general, for visiting, all these professionals, I don't believe they have this kind of visa, okay? Because we already have this kind of working visa, etc., etc. So I don't know if it's a good strategy to think about this kind of professionals to increase the number of applications, because for renewing this visa, they will need another contract, okay? Just to clarify this.
So when I say renewals, it's only for B1, B2 visas. And even if you had the different visa before, the US Department of State, it's working on amending the legislation. So even if you had any other kind of visa, you can renew it for a B1, B2 without needing for an interview. The challenge is only that you need to, if your fingerprints were not collected, you have to go at the embassy to collect it. But your concerns are not really matching the reality, because an IT professional, even if he was hired in the US, he can apply easily for a B1, B2 visa without needing a contract, just saying that I was in the US and I want to go for a visit. And trust me, I know what I'm saying. I don't see any challenge in them getting a US visitor's visa, B1, B2.
So what's this B1, B2 visa are for?
B1, B2 is business or travel. B1 is business, B2 is travel. And now
it's
the
exactly
issue...
what I say. If you are talking about academics, professors,
yes, and I believe
researchers,
the
they don't
distinction
have this
has
kind
been
of
made.
visa.
The distinction has been made, so we are asking them to come almost as tourists, but I certainly encourage them to use that to create connections with American universities and use this visit to the United States to establish those human ties that will lead to institutional connections. Certainly, they will be coming on a short-term visitor, short-term stay visitor, and do not require any sort of employer accreditation for that. But thank you for the clarification, and thank you, Mr. Vătăjelu, for making that point clear.
Yeah, so a professor that is invited to take part in a conference, he will need a B1, B2 visa. So that's the situation, even if he had previously a different type of it. And Dana here, I think she can just confirm what I said.
We will have a session later today where Dana will emphasize those distinctions. Attorney Dana Pucin. If